This podcast is sponsored by Cloud Optimizer.
As we migrated more of our business to the cloud, we were seeing expenses go up, but we couldn't pinpoint the cause. It seemed less of a cloud, more of a fog. That's why we brought on Cloud Optimizer, and they saved the day.
Are you seeing your cloud hosting bills go up and you're not sure why? It's time to put Cloud Optimizer to work for you. Cloud Optimizer analyzes usage patterns, right-sizes resources, leverages discounts you may not be aware of, implements automation, and much more. And by reducing unnecessary expenses and maximizing performance, Cloud Optimizer guarantees you a savings of 5 times what you spend for their service.
With Cloud Optimizer, we have our spend under control. Our company is more agile, profitable, and we're getting peak performance from our cloud.
Make the cloud work for you with Cloud Optimizer. Get a free assessment and find out how much you can save by going to cloudoptimizer.com. Go to cloudoptimizer.com for your free assessment. That's cloudoptimizer.com. This podcast is sponsored by Cloud Optimizer.
As we migrated more of our business to the cloud, we were seeing expenses go up, but we couldn't pinpoint the cause. It seemed less of a cloud, more of a fog. That's why we brought on Cloud Optimizer, and they saved the day.
Are you seeing your cloud hosting bills go up and you're not sure why? It's time to put Cloud Optimizer to work for you. Cloud Optimizer analyzes usage patterns, right-sizes resources, leverages discounts you may not be aware of, implements automation, and much more. And by reducing unnecessary expenses and maximizing performance, Cloud Optimizer guarantees you a savings of 5 times what you spend for their service.
With Cloud Optimizer, we have our spend under control. Our company is more agile, profitable, and we're getting peak performance from our cloud.
Make the cloud work for you with Cloud Optimizer. Get a free assessment and find out how much you can save by going to cloudoptimizer.com. Go to cloudoptimizer.com for your free assessment. That's cloudoptimizer.com.
WBSM presents The Tim Weisberg Show, streaming live on WBSM.com and the WBSM app. Call 508-996-0500. Send us app chat messages and open line voicemails using the WBSM app. Now, The Tim Weisberg Show.
Welcome back in, 508-996-0500. We also have app chat and open line voicemails open if you would like to send those in as well. And we've got a lot that we can discuss this morning. We've been talking about, UMass graduation. Of course, the rain coming down throughout the course of the ceremony. You just heard Ariel had the story about Rob Hale, the commencement speaker, giving $1,000 to every graduate. And it came to them in 2 envelopes. The envelopes were decorated by the students at the Green Elementary School in Fall River and the DeVal's Elementary School in New Bedford. And each graduating Corsair got 2 envelopes, each envelope containing $500 in cash. And the idea was that the first $500 was for them to keep, and the second $500 was for them to give away to somebody else, whether it be to another person, to a charity, to an organization. But it was to foster the idea of giving. Now, how many of those kids actually do that, I don't know. But I did see comments from people on Facebook under our story at WBSM's Facebook page and on the Fun 107 Facebook page where they were saying that, my child already gave it to this organization, my graduate gave it to this organization. One parent said, my graduate gave the other $500 to me because of all the sacrifices I made so that they could go to school. So it's a great concept, but as some callers were saying earlier, does that make up for the conditions that they had to graduate in? So that's still on the table if you'd like to discuss that. I was talking also last hour, the story about the shop steward of Teamsters Local 25, who works at the UPS processing facility in Franklin, and who got into a situation with his supervisor where he tried to show him some photos of OSHA violations on his phone, and the supervisor slapped the phone out of his hand, spraining the man's wrist. Carlos Pina is the name of the person. Slapped him in the wrist, sprained his wrist, And now he claims that he is the target of a harassment and bullying campaign. And so yesterday, the Teamsters showed up and held a rally outside of the UPS facility to show support for Carlos Pina. So if you want to read more about that and see some video, 508, no, I was going to give you the number. You can't, that's not going to help you any. WBSM.com and the WBSM app. If you want to comment on it, you can do that at 508-996-0500. And we will see if we get other stories that come out of that facility of similar situations. Right now, though, the story that I want to go back to is the one that we were talking about earlier this morning. And that is that just days after a woman I thought would never be paroled again, Robin Murphy, the woman who committed the murder of Karen Marsden, who cut off her head and blamed Carl Drew for it and has now recanted and said Carl Drew wasn't involved in it. The woman who already was paroled once in the early 2000s and then violated her parole and went back to prison. She's been paroled again, Robin Murphy. So if you had asked me a week ago, will she ever see the light of day again? I would have said, no way. And certainly not before Carl Drew gets another shot at freedom. But the news broke she's being released from prison. She's been paroled. And now yesterday, another notorious South Coast murderer had a parole hearing. And I would have said there's no way that the former Gerard McRae would ever be released from prison after killing his parents and his 11-year-old sister in cold blood in 1993. But after the Robin Murphy decision, I anything's possible, I guess. Because Alan Sylvia certainly feels that Robin Murphy killed 3 people, even though she was only convicted of 1. But Gerard McRae was convicted of 3 murders and received a life sentence for each without the possibility of parole. However, the Supreme Judicial Court in Massachusetts later ruled that minors who were convicted and sentenced to life without parole could be eligible for parole. And so he had a parole hearing in 2019. The parole board unanimously denied him. Now he had another one yesterday. I would think that he would also be unanimously denied again, but it can't be a sure thing. And if you don't remember the details of this case, Gerard McRae was a 15-year-old. He was upset because he couldn't spend time with his girlfriend. His parents wouldn't let him spend time with his girlfriend. So he went into his grandfather's dresser drawer, stole his gun, went into his family home and shot his mother, then waited. Like this was something he planned out, spent hours executing. And then went into the back of the family car as his father and sister were in the car in front of him, and he shot them each in the back of the head. He knew what he was doing. It was fully premeditated. And as DA Tim Cruz has said, he has shown no remorse. After all these years, he says he still won't even speak the victims' names. And now he is looking for parole. And like I said, I would have said there's no way in hell. But after the Robin Murphy decision, I can't say that with certainty anymore. And the other prison news is that former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia has requested early release. He's trying to be released early. Now, I don't think that surprises anybody. But what's really interesting about this is the argument that he's making for his early release. Now, you do know that you may not know that some of the charges that he was convicted of were actually dropped after he was convicted. They were dismissed. Some of the charges were dismissed after Correia was convicted. But he wrote a request to the federal court asking for a reduced sentence, and he wrote this himself rather than through his lawyer. Well, why? Because Correia claims multiple problems with his trial lawyer, Kevin Reddington. Correia claims Reddington tried to extort $50,000 from him before the trial. He also claimed, this comes from Channel 10, he also claims Reddington agreed to consolidate the multiple cases against Correia into one without Correia's consent, and Correia claims he gave Reddington $306,000 to reimburse Snow Owl investors, that was Correia's app, but the money was never paid to them. Correia's wife, Jenny, and his mother, Maria, filed statements supporting Jasiel's claims as part of the request for a reduced sentence. This is what Jenny Correia said. My husband was so stressed anyway because of what our whole family knew to be a horrible lack of preparation for trial by his lawyer. My husband was constantly reminding him and speaking with him about the government's witnesses and how to prepare his defense, but the lawyer kept forgetting. Now, listen. I know that Jasiel Correia thinks very highly of himself. I know that Jenny Correia thinks very highly of her husband. Most people in Jasiel's orbit think very highly of him. But I don't know that I would believe that Jasiel Correia knew better how to prepare his defense than Kevin Reddington. Probably the top defense lawyer in all of Massachusetts. Whether you like him or hate him, he's one of the best to do it. Kevin Reddington knows what he's doing. That's why you hire him, Jasiel Correia. See, here's the problem of why things didn't work out for you the way you thought you were going to have them work out for you when you hired Kevin Reddington to defend you. Because you are a criminal. You defrauded investors. There's only so much a defense attorney can do when you actually committed the crimes. And now trying to blame him to get yourself out early, I don't think that's going to work. Because Reddington disputed all of Correia's claims in comments he told Channel 10. He is a complete and utter total fraud. He is a liar, Reddington told NBC 10 News. I have never extorted a client for legal fees. Jasiel stiffed me, saying the former mayor owed him $50,000 in legal fees. And as for that $306,000 that Correia claims he gave to Reddington to repay the investors, Reddington said that the federal prosecutors wouldn't allow it, so he gave the money back to Correia. And he also said he did talk to Correia at length about consolidating the cases into one. He told NBC 10 it's, quote, readily apparent he's a sad little man and a liar. This is my favorite part of the Jasiel story altogether. I thought the Batman Rolex was my favorite part. I thought extorting the marijuana companies was the most salacious part. But he's trying to make his lawyer out to look worse than he is. This is good stuff. And I say now, how can Jasiel Correia, in all seriousness, when he comes out of prison, look to be a public official ever again with all that's gone on? And then I know he'll probably get elected mayor of Fall River again if that's what he chooses to do when he gets out. He is the millennial Buddy Cianci. 508-996-0500. App chat, open line voicemails on the WBSM app. Let's take a break here. We'll be back in a few moments. That song goes out to Sarah's computer because it wants to be starting something by keeping her from being able to listen to the WBSM.com stream. So you know what, Sarah? You want to be restarting something. Restart that computer. Show it's who's boss. Anyway, 508-996-0500 if you want to call in and chime in. Now, yesterday I told you about how Fun 107 has been heading out to different restaurants this week, and that means that all these great deals go on sale at seizethedeal.com for you to take advantage of. Even though you're listening to me on WBSM, you still get those deals because at seizethedeal.com, we don't care which station you listen to. We just want you to save money. And so if you go to seizethedeal.com right now, you will see that coming up in just a little while, they're over at Antonio's this morning, broadcasting from there. So coming up in just a little while, we will have $50 to Antonio's for just $25. That goes on sale at 9 a.m. But also we'll have a round of golf with a cart at Allendale. Normally $120, $60. We're going to have $50 to Carmine's at Candleworks, $25. Those are going on sale soon. But right now you can also get $50 to the Dale at Allendale for just $25. So we've got other great deals to the Vault, to Lobster Pot in Bristol, to Friendly's in Dartmouth, to Mimi's Kitchen in New Bedford, to Dough Company in Kilburn Mill. All of these great deals are all there to be had at seizethedeal.com. And remember, that's the place to go every day to save yourself money on all the places that you either love to go to or that you haven't tried yet. Seize the Deal has opened the door for me to try so many places. And I'm sure you love to save money just as much as I do. So you want to get on over to seizethedeal.com and get all of those great deals. Now, you can buy as many deals as you want. You're limited to 2 per deal so that everybody has a fair chance to get some. But you can still go in there and buy 2 to every deal that's up there if that's what you want to do. They make great gifts, too, as Father's Day is approaching, as graduations are happening, birthdays are going on. And if you ever go to seizethedeal.com and you don't see local places, you're like, what is this? I've never heard of this place. All you have to do is go up to the top. There's a little location icon and select that and change that to be New Bedford. And that will give you all of the local deals because sometimes your computer thinks you're somewhere else. Especially if you have all those private networking and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes the computer will say that you're in Idaho when we want you to get the local deals. So seizethedeal.com. Speaking of going online, you can go to WBSM.com and the WBSM app and sign up for your chance to win 2 3-day passes to the Boston Calling Music Festival. It's happening Memorial Day weekend at the Harvard Athletic Complex. Everybody from Ed Sheeran to the Killers, Megan Thee Stallion, Tyler Childers, everybody, all the acts that are playing, all 4 dozen plus acts. You will be able to see every one of them if you want, because you're going to have, if you're the winner, a pair of 3-day general admission passes. So you can go to WBSM.com or the WBSM app, and you can enter to win. And if we select your name, you're getting those bracelets. They're a $700+ value. So keep that in mind. And we want to thank our sponsors, Stevie's Wine and Spirits in Fairhaven, and the all-new Tropical Smoothie Cafe, now open in Fairhaven. So if you want to enter to win again, just go to WBSM.com and the app, fill out your information. It couldn't be any easier, and you could be on your way to Boston Calling and rocking out to all those great musical acts. And it's such a fun atmosphere. Even if you thought, oh, music festivals, that's not for me. I'm too old for that. That's not my kind of thing. It absolutely is your thing. Trust me. It is a great experience. You'll have a great time. And it's even better if you won them and they were free. So enter to win, WBSM.com and the WBSM app. Right now, though, it is time to go into the newsroom and get all the headlines of the day from Ariel Dorsey.
A House vote on a bill regarding military aid for deaths in Texas due to severe weather, and 2 brothers charged for wire fraud.
From the WBSM Newsroom, this is WBSM News.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is accusing the Biden administration of brazenly holding congressionally mandated aid. Biden said he is pausing one shipment of bombs to Israel due to concerns over a full-scale military operation in Rafah. The House will vote on a bill today to prevent the president from withholding weapons from Israel. Officials in Houston, Texas are confirming 4 deaths from severe weather. More than 1 million people are without power as power lines and trees were knocked down across the city. A tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning are in effect for the area, and dozens of Texas counties are waiting out a high-risk warning for flash flooding through Friday. Tempers flared at a House hearing Thursday after Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene attacked the parents of Democrat Jasmine Crockett.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
The House Oversight Committee was meeting at the time to debate holding Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress when things got heated between the representatives, Greene of Georgia and Crockett of Texas. Committee Chairman James Comer called for a short recess and reminded members to observe the House's standard of decorum. President Biden is calling a proposal to classify marijuana an important move toward reversing long-standing inequities. The Department of Justice issued a notice of proposed rulemaking Thursday to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug. The rule change is subject to a 60-day public comment period. And the Justice Department is charging 2 brothers in connection with an alleged scheme to steal $25 million worth of cryptocurrency. Anton and James Pereira Bueno are facing charges of wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. They both studied computer science and math at MIT.
WBSM Sports.
The Red Sox will visit the St. Louis Cardinals for a 3-game series that begins tonight at 8:15. The Bruins are in their second-round series against the Panthers when it hosts Florida in Game 6 Friday night. And the Celtics are waiting to find out their opponent for the Eastern Conference Finals. The team will play the winner of the series between the Knicks and the Pacers.
Now, your ABC6 South Coast forecast, brought to you by C Street.
Well, we're starting things off a little bit on the dreary-looking side across the region this morning with some areas of fog and low clouds. But by midday and into the afternoon, we'll be seeing a mixture of sun and clouds and overall a pretty decent day with highs right up around 68 degrees, light breeze out of the northeast. It does turn mainly cloudy again overnight tonight, and some fog will reform. Lows will drop back down into the low 50s. And for your Saturday, still plenty of clouds around. We are going to be dealing with a northeasterly breeze still, so that's the reason for that low-level moisture. Although the day itself will basically stay dry, I can't rule out the possibility of a brief sprinkle or very light shower. Strictly hit or miss, though, so really don't worry about it ruining any plans. The high a little cooler, though, near 64 degrees. Be sure to watch ABC6 for my full 7-day forecast. From the ABC6 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Bill Guile on New Bedford's News Talk Station, 1420 WBSM.
This WBSM News Update is brought to you by Stevie's Wine and Spirits. Look for the purple dot to try before you buy, only at Stevie's Wine and Spirits in Fairhaven. I'm Ariel Dorsey for WBSM News. Stay up to date with New Bedford's News Talk Station, WBSM, and get all of our content and breaking news alerts with the WBSM app.
And welcome back in. It's time to check in with Eric over at the Butcher Shop. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Hey, Tim. What's going on, brother?
Not much. I'm getting hungry, though. What do you got over there today?
Oh, today's going to be a nice day. Nice day. Everybody's stressing money a little bit. So you know what I got today? I got filet mignon today. Nice fillets. I'm going to get rid of them today for $16.99 a pound.
Wow.
They're real nice and fresh. Choice. Good stuff.
Wow. And how do you like to prepare your fillets?
Grill.
Yeah, that's
Grill
the best
season,
way.
Sure.
And, well, it's always grill season to me. I'll grill in a snowstorm. I don't care. What else is going on today?
I got nice tomahawks. I got nice sirloins. Everything's choice. Remember that. I sell good stuff, man. I got nice porterhouses today. I got Terrace Major. I got top sirloin. I got ossobuco. I got pretty much everything. I got briskets. I got picanha. Today's Friday, so I got fried fish today, too. A lot of fried fish. Codfish.
Yeah. And you got some other stuff, too, that you're cooking up?
Yeah, and my father's actually making some bakyaogumsa.
Oh, what's that?
It's codfish with potatoes and onions on it with nice sauce on it. It's really good, made with olive oil.
Oh, yeah. That's really good, yeah. And, of course, everything else that people need, you have there. The shelves are packed with everything you could need. And, of course,
yeah, man.
Don't forget to go downstairs, right? Get the beer and wine for your weekend.
Yeah, you got that right. I got a lot of wines. Today I got Super Bock on sale this week, too. $29.99 a case.
Nice. That's good stuff, too.
Good stuff. Stuff on the move, Good stuff. Keep it all fresh.
What's your plan for the weekend? What are you going to be having?
Actually, today I think I'm going to have some chorizo on the grill.
Perfect.
Nice spicy chorizo.
All right. Well, I hope that you have a good weekend, and we will check in with you next week.
Well, let's hope we all have a nice weekend. It looks like it's going to clear up. Should be nice today.
Yeah,
like the grill.
Perfect grilling weather. Get those fillets, toss them on the grill. All right. You have a good one.
I'll talk to you.
That is Eric over at the Butcher Shop, 123 Dartmouth Street in New Bedford. And as I always say, it is a real old-school neighborhood market. When you walk in, you are going to be treated like family because the Pinaretta family considers you part of their family. So check it out. 123 Dartmouth Street in New Bedford, the Butcher Shop. My number here, 508-996-0500. If you want to call in and chime in on some of these stories that we've been talking about today, a lot of stuff going on here locally. We've got the UMass graduation. People were not happy. We heard some callers who actually attended graduation. They weren't happy with it being held out in the rain, but other people weren't happy about it being on a weekday. There were folks who said, I couldn't even get to graduation because I couldn't get the time off of work. Others who said, I was trying to get to work and I couldn't because everybody was trying to get to graduation. That it was causing traffic backups out onto Route 6, State Road in Dartmouth, on Defonce Corner Road, that there was issues with it just being on a weekday. Not to mention the folks who sat out in the rain for 5 or 6 hours. People who their only view of their graduate was a bunch of umbrellas in front of them. But on the other side of things, the commencement speaker, Rob Hale, did give a $1,000 gift to every graduate. 2 envelopes, each containing $500, one for them to keep and one for them to give to someone else. So you can read more about that at WBSM.com and on the WBSM app. And I will take your phone calls as well, 508-996-0500. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You are next on WBSM.
Good morning, Tim.
How you doing?
Good. Very good. First, I did have Breyers, and I did leave it out on the counter one time. And I'm not a Breyers eater, but I did buy it. And I can't remember the flavor, but Mary's right. That thing the next day was barely even melted. I was like, what the heck is in this? So needless to say, I've never bought that brand since. But they make really good ice creams now with avocados. And you wouldn't know there's avocado in it.
What are you, Tom Brady? You eat avocado ice cream?
It's really good, though. But listen, you don't taste the avocado. You don't taste it. Honest to God. They only make them in pints. But they're so tasty. I like peppermint, and I like the little broken dark chocolate pieces in it. And then I saw that video. I was reading one of your stories, and I hit the video where you guys were eating the buffalo wings.
Oh, geez, that was a while ago. With Gazelle and I in the conference room.
No, that was with your two buddies. You were trying the pig and gasket, I think it's called.
Yeah, no, cask and pig. Yeah, that was the video that we did a couple of years ago. Actually, I think it was before COVID. Where Gazelle ended up vomiting after that.
Okay, that's right. His name is Gazelle. I'm sorry. Yes, he did. He threw up. He almost got sick the second to last one, but then the third one he did. But I was reading the story because I don't know why, but the story popped up, and I just. You said, well, just look at the video. It will tell its own story. So I went to that. I was like, oh, my God. Oh, I don't know how y'all did it, but I love picklings. I like heat. I've always loved a little heat. But that was enough to convince me not to do that. But needless to say, you won't be doing that anymore either, right?
Well, I haven't really eaten anything that hot since that day. Kind of ruined me.
Yeah. I wouldn't suggest doing that at all.
Same with my son. He did that one chip challenge, and that kind of ruined him from eating things that were too spicy after that too. So.
Yeah, I saw two pictures of him when you guys were going to different places. Oh my God, what a cutie pie! Love his hair. Oh my God.
Well, thank you for the call. I get some other callers here stacked up. I just wanted to
wish you, like I always do, have a wonderful weekend, and to everybody else in the office.
And you as well. Take care.
And the listeners. Okay, bye-bye.
And let's get we'll try to get both these calls in before I got to take another break. Good morning. You're next on WBSM.
Gotta love that Sketty.
She is the most positive, upbeat person.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Hey, regarding this graduation ceremony, I don't understand why, we're always talking to New Bedford about, trying to promote, events and bring businesses, to support businesses. But if you run an event at UMass Dartmouth on a Saturday, which, by the way, most weddings are on Saturdays for a reason, that's because everyone can attend.
Yeah.
So I think that they really just need to say it's got to be a Saturday always. And then it helps because people will stay in the area, hotel rooms, restaurants for the whole weekend. I mean, it'll be an event, but to have it in midweek is really pretty shabby, I'm thinking. So
I mean, maybe the thought process was because this is wedding season and a lot of people are, going to weddings on Saturdays, that maybe they didn't want to have it on a Saturday, but still have it, even if you're going to have it on a Thursday, have it at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. as opposed to having it at 10 a.m.
Well, the question is, what's the full attendance, between the students and the family and faculty? And imagine all those people going out to buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mm-hmm. So, or maybe staying over again if it's a Saturday into a Sunday and doing it again. So, I think that I don't know, the city should be talking to UMass Dartmouth and say, hey, come on, get your act together. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess too, from what I heard from some people, that $1,000 that the speaker was giving out was only for the graduates that were in attendance. So if you didn't go to the ceremony because you said, you know what, as much as I'd like to stand up and get my degree, I don't want to subject my family to sitting in the rain like that, then you didn't get the $1,000.
Yeah, I'll leave you with this. I think that's great that he did that. I think you just give the student a check and let them make a decision. Don't split it up into cash in 2 envelopes like they're 5 years old. I mean, that's really just give them a check and say, hey, we'd like you to split whatever portion you feel appropriate to a charity of your own. I think that's adult and reasonable, but 2 envelopes is kind of whatever. It's kind of a juvenile approach, but whatever.
Yeah, I thought kind of the same thing, but then I thought maybe it was because he did have the elementary school in Fall River and the elementary school in New Bedford design the envelopes. That maybe that's why they did it, so that every graduate gets an envelope from each one of those schools.
Yeah, I get you. Then, but anyway. Well, listen, you have a good day.
You as well. Take care.
Bye now.
And let's take another call here before we got to go to a break. 508-996-0500. You are next on WBSM.
Hey, Tim. Good morning. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, regarding the Breyers ice cream, I'll touch on that real quick. Here's the trick. It's no longer called ice cream, which is why it doesn't melt. If you notice, half of the ice cream on the shelves is labeled frozen dairy dessert.
And I don't, to me, I look at it and I say, well, I like the idea of an ice cream that isn't going to melt because now I don't have to worry about it melting. I don't have to eat it and get a brain freeze. But I also understand that means that it's not natural ingredients that are in it.
Yeah, that's my concern. Hey, also real quick, 2021, the wife graduated from UMass with her master's. And it was pouring rain. My kid was 2 months old. We sat in the rain. And she didn't get any money. So so it could have been worse for all the people that sat out there in the rain. So, but hey, it is what it is. I guess the $1,000 cash kind of makes up for it.
Well, now every school is going to ask for Rob Hale to be their commencement speaker now, because he did it when he did it at UMass Boston. He did it at UMass Dartmouth. So now, the expectation is there. If he comes in and he speaks to the students, they're going to expect $1,000.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, the guy that's looking to get paroled that killed his parents and his sister. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if his girlfriend waited for him this entire time for him to get out of prison. Just curious.
Yeah, I mean, he was upset he couldn't see her then. I mean, he really hasn't seen her now. So
I would really be concerned for her if she has a husband or kids or anything, and that guy gets paroled.
Yeah, good point.
Anyway, have a good weekend.
You as well. Take care. Yeah. Caller, hang on. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, you will be first. We'll be back in just a few moments. All right, let's go back to the phones. 508-996-0500. You are next on WBSM.
Hey, good morning, Tim.
How you doing?
I was up earlier this morning, and I've been busy, but I was listening when you started on a McRae situation. Anytime there's murder, it's horrific. But when it happens within a family, the division, just crazy. And do you actually know that you actually have a connection to many of the people who knew Bobby?
No. Well, I know he was on his way to a wrestling show. He was going to drop his daughter off at a birthday party, right? And he was going to go to a wrestling show.
And his name was Bobby Moran, Bad Boy Bobby Moran.
Oh, so he was a wrestler. Oh, I didn't know.
And he knew many of the guys when you came in were there. Rick Fuller, Scotty Taylor, Hunter, all them guys. He knew all of them. Because I was with Joe Eugenio then, helping out and volunteering around the ring and stuff. And I know the family personally in the late 60s and 70s. I grew up with them in the Wells Square area, the father and stuff like that, and the uncles and the aunts. And so it's still very sad. Also, in the youth thing for juveniles, do you remember when this whole thing came up about changing that law? That another case was the one that was at Dunkin' Donuts at Nauset and Mount Pleasant?
Yeah.
That juvenile? Me and a friend of mine were there. He was having a very distressful day. We were leaving as the victim, who ended up dying that night, was arriving. So we weren't far behind it. And we heard about the next morning where and what happened. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
We never saw the kid who actually pulled the trigger, but we saw the gentleman who got shot.
Yeah, very chilling. Well, I'm sure you've heard me tell my story of walking right by Joe Carson-Iayev the day after the Boston Marathon bombings.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's weird, but it's those things happen. Well, thank you for the call. You have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, my friend. God bless.
All right. 508-996-0500 if you want to call in and chime in. But yeah, Gerard McRae, the 15-year-old Rochester teenager who killed his parents and his 11-year-old sister in 1993, had a parole hearing yesterday. And as I've been saying, no way in hell this guy gets parole, right? But I would have said the same thing about Robin Murphy a week ago. So I don't know what to think anymore. So you can find out more about that, WBSM.com and on the WBSM app. There's also the story out today. Jasiel Correia is looking to have his sentence reduced. And his strategy for doing so is by throwing Kevin Reddington under the bus. So, okay. Also, we have the story at WBSM.com and on the app of the New Bedford man who is in a battle with his supervisor at UPS in Franklin and now has the Teamsters Union backing him up in this. You can read about that and see some video at WBSM.com and on the WBSM app. So a lot of stuff for you to consume and read and check out, when you get the chance. And react to by calling 508-996-0500. Right now, though, why don't I take my final break of the morning, get that out of the way, and we'll be back in just a few moments.
America, have you heard? A brand new dance, and it's called Bird. You don't need no finesse or no personality. You just need to have an attitude. And everybody sing with me. Come on now. Hallelujah.
All right, welcome back. That is Morris Day in the time. Gotta love the time. And we're just about out of time. So I see Colleen's calling back in. Colleen, real quick, I got about 20 seconds.
All right, ice cream. I went in the freezer. Friendly's doesn't say ice cream on it either. And neither does Hood says cream and milk. Okay?
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. I guess the only way you can guarantee you're going to get real ice cream is to go get it from somebody like a Cushing Creamery where they make it themselves right there in front of you. You can see it happening. Or, you know what? Buy one of those things where you can make it yourself at home. I've always wanted to get one of those, but then I was like, then I'll eat even more ice cream. That's not a good idea. The other day, I went to my nephew's birthday party. They rented a snow cone machine. They're like, do you want a snow cone? I was like, I only eat snow cones if they come out of Snoopy's house. So other than that, no thank you. All right, that's going to do it for me for today. I am out of time, but I will be back